Next up, we have Guillermo from Colombia.
Buenos días, buenas tardes. How are you, everyone?
Yeah,
How's everyone? Nice to meet you. My
very
name is
well.
Guillermo, and we start first with a really nice video about Colombia. So, Monet, be my guest.
All right. Next,
Well, thank you very much, Monet. When I always watch this video, I get so excited, so emotive about this beautiful country. I'm going to start sharing my presentation. Can you see the presentation? Good. So, well, let's start first with who are we? Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Guillermo Villoria. I am the general manager and one of the owners of Colombian Journeys. We are DMC experts on Colombia since 20 years ago, doing tailor-made itineraries. I am Venezuelan, but I've been living in this country for 15 years, and I fall in love with the people, with the culture, biodiversity. I got married with a Colombian. I have two beautiful Colombian kids. And during all these 20 years, what we're doing is making dreams of Southern Coast travel islands and community come true. Every day, we are passionate about Colombia. It's an amazing country with a very interesting history that comes from a very complicated reality to a different country from since 20 years ago. We are committing to our clients, partners, workers, and local suppliers. One of the things that we have very inside of us is we have to be kind with everyone. And today, I think is even more important because all the things are happening around the world. And of course, very responsible for our travelers, your clients, when they are traveling around Colombia. So that's Colombian Journeys since 20 years ago here in this country. I've been traveling around every corner of the country, and it's a fantastic country. Now, I'm going to start with the protagonists. Well, we are part of a membership and certification. We have different membership certifications around the world. One of the most important is Travel Life certificate. We have been certificated from 5 years ago, and that's that shows to our clients the commitment we have with sustainability and responsibility. And also we are part of different associations around the world. Let's start with the protagonist, Colombia. Amazing country that is located in the north of South America. Our neighbors, Ecuador, Peru, Brazil, and Venezuela, and Panama. We have a fantastic location that gives us the opportunity to have two seas, the Pacific Ocean, the Caribbean Sea, which we have both coasts. We are a country of more or less more than 2 million kilometers square. Kilometers square of marine areas is almost 1 million. 3,882 kilometers of coast, more than 365 tropical weather days. And this is something that I want to explain a little bit because people think that we are located in close to the equator. We have Caribbean and Pacific side. The country is very warm around everywhere, and it's not like that because we have true mountain range that finish here in Colombia. So we have a very accidental geographic. So when you are in Bogota, for example, you are 2,300 of the sea level. So here, the weather where I live right now, where I'm right now, the weather changes very quickly. We have an average Celsius 14 per year. This morning was sunny, and right now it's freezing. In the afternoon can rain. So I say this: we have, like 4 seasons in one day. You can live 4 seasons. We can get to 21 Celsius in a very sunny day, but in the afternoon can be a cold, and night can get to 7 Celsius. So that's why in Bogota, the weather is very complicated. So it's not like every else of Colombia, but you have to keep in mind when you are traveling around the country and you are in places located inside the Andes, the weather is completely different than the other parts like the coast or the Pacific or the Amazon in the south or the plains of Colombia. We have 311 ecosystems, 6 snow mountains, 51 million people here waiting for your clients. Very excited to have you here. 3 deserts and 3 mountain range. We are a mega diverse country. We are the second country in the world mega diverse because of the diversity of ecosystem that we have. And of course, also because in terms of wildlife, we can say that we are the first country in diversity of birds, orchids, and butterflies. You can see at the bottom, we have 1,954. For the 8th year, we are the #1 country in birds, and we have 82 endemics, more than 4,000 butterflies, and more than 4,000 orchids. The first country in fruits, which is fantastic because you can try a different fruit every day of the year. And when I travel, for us, it's very complicated because we love to eat fruits every day. And it's complicated sometimes to find so much diversity of fruits like we have here. We are the second country in diversity of plants, amphibians, and fish. Third country in diversity of palms. And we have one of the highest palms of the world located in the Coffee region. 6th country maintain in mammals diversity, and the 7th country in diversity of reptile. Of course, because we are the mega diverse country. Of course, a country without people, it's very boring country. So we are a multicultural country. 86% of the population is whites and mestizos, 9.5 Afro-descendants, 4.4 indigenous community, and 0.01 gypsies. We have 68 native languages, 102 indigenous community, 1,000 musical rhythms, and 90 UNESCO heritage, cultural and natural 9, and intangibles 10, which one is the Barranquilla Carnival that is becoming every year more popular to come in February during the year. And of course, something that I always mention and like to say to our clients is that the music will follow you during your trip. The music of Colombia is incredible, the diversity, the rhythms, the tradition, the dance, and it changes very, very quickly depending on the area of your country you are. The coast of Caribbean, the music of the Caribbean is completely different than the Pacific side, from the Bogota, for example, in the south. And that mix of music finally became like different, very famous rhythm, like, for example, reggaeton or champeta in Cartagena. So when you are in Colombia, you will always will hear hear different kind of music every part of your that you are visiting. And I always say this is like the cherry of the cake. In terms of international air connection, today Colombia is very well connected for different part of the world, from the United States, Central and South America, and in Europe, and it's very easy to connect from Asia, Africa, Australia, New Zealand, through Europe or United States. Last year, Bogota became the #1 airport in Latin America with almost 40 million people that went through or used Bogota as an airport. So today, to be honest, you have a lot of options to come here. And of course, that for you and for your client is fantastic, different kind of airline. And now we're getting to one of the most important parts to understand when you are starting to sell Colombia for the first time, is how to create a valuable itinerary. Colombia, to be honest, is a very new destination. We started 10, 13 years ago when we signed the peace. That's like the point that the country changed and the people start really coming to Colombia massive. So we are very new in the neighbor, and it's important to explain how to start creating a valuable itinerary. I will explain, like a book. I don't know if you know, but we have one of the most famous writers of the world, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, who won a Nobel Prize. And I always try to explain, using the example of a book. When you start reading, the most important thing is first the introduction that will give you some details about what will happen during the book. That's Bogota. Bogota is the capital, is the mix of the traditions, music, gastronomy of Colombia. It's a fantastic city of 10 million people, located in the middle of the Andes. And to be honest, I think it's the best way to start in itinerary. And I can say that 90% of the flights arrive to Bogota. So that's why also we think it's nice to start here, and is the highest point doing your itinerary, because Coffee region is at 1,300, Medellin the same, and then Cartagena is on the coast, Santa Marta, but Bogota is 2,300, so I think it makes sense to start in the highest point of Colombia. So all that things that I mentioned is why we think the introduction of Colombia is Bogota. Later, the final chapter of a book has to be, amazing, have to give, like the amazing closing is like a TV show. The last chapter have to be amazing. If it's not, then the TV show wasn't so good. So that's Cartagena. Cartagena, it's the Caribbean style, full of color, tradition, African heritage. The city and the architecture is beautiful. Of course, you are on the beach or close to the beach. So you are, like really with light clothes, shorts, sandals, guayaberas that we call here, nice weather, parties, restaurants. So we think is the best way to close it itinerary. And then in the middle, you include different things depending of the budget and the niche of your client, the time, etc. But normally the classic itinerary will be Bogota, then Medellin, that in the last 5 years became very popular because of different TV shows that shows, the narc business that is today very, very famous. But thanks to that, even it's negative, the people start coming to Colombia and Medellin, and they discover amazing city. That was won award in 2013. The New York Times named it like the most innovative city in the world. It's very well connected, and the weather is amazing. It's called the Spring Forever City, which is amazing. When you are there with the weather, the people, the restaurant, etc. And of course, the coffee region. That Colombia, one of the most popular things about our country is the coffee. So you always think that those 4 destinations that talks about the highlight of Colombia, introduction, capital, last part, the World Heritage City, Medellin with the transformation, and finally the coffee region to understand the business of the coffee, how we plantate the coffee. We're still recollecting the coffee manually, because of the accidental geographic of this area. It's very complicated to do it with machines. So we still have like a culture behind the coffee business that is a World Heritage. So that's why also we think coffee region is very important to visit. So finally, just 4 pictures about these four places. 2 nights in Bogota. This is the main square, Plaza Bolivar. You know, the Simon Bolivar was the liberator of Colombia and other countries like Venezuela, Bolivia, Colombia, Ecuador. So there is a lot of Bolivar squares around the country, but the most important is in Bogota. It's huge, it's beautiful, full of cathedrals and colonial architecture from the Spanish period. Then we have Medellin, which is a very modern city, but the highlights to go to the favelas to understand the transformation that the city had since 30 years ago because of the drug dealer business, that today is a very safe, innovative, beautiful, and modern city. Coffee region, the views are amazing. The landscapes when you are in your car, traveling around the region, visiting different plantations and going to the Cocora Valley where you can find the highest palms of the world is amazing. And finally, of course, Cartagena. I love Cartagena. One of the free things to do in Cartagena is to just walk inside the whole city, enjoy an ice cream or have a ceviche or some rums with Coca-Cola or whatever you want. You will find different kind of options of restaurants and bars. Then go to the islands to visit some beaches. And of course, be inside of a World Heritage of the world. So that's Colombia. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much for your time, Monet. And I hope you enjoy my presentation. And I leave you with my colleagues. Have a great day.
Muchas gracias, Guillermo. I think just by the reactions and the messages coming in, all of us want to go to Colombia now.